it's an extremely significant anniversary, because it's 25 years since this most important event, which had very unforeseen consequences. I don't suppose at the time anybody realized that it was going to, in effect, lead towards the falling of the Berlin Wall, the collapse of communism in Central and Eastern Europe. And it had very, very far-reaching consequences. And the Order of Malta, of course, is very proud to have taken a pretty leading part in what became such a significant European occasion. I mean, an occasion not just for Europe, but indeed for the world. So it's something which I think we can be very proud about. And of course, it's something which even now is still, there's no doubt about the fact that it's still continuing to have consequences which roll on into the future. This whole event, which was largely the creation of Father Imre Kozma, and of course Baroness Berzelager, who was very much assisting in this, led to not just the business of the fall of communism, not just the fall of communism in Hungary, but the fall of communism across Europe, but also to this extraordinary thing, which is the fact that there is this vast flowering of the work of the order in Hungary. And we now have a very large number. We have between 10 and 15,000 volunteers in Hungary. And that situation has grown out of those events of 25 years ago. And as you know, we're now involved in a whole series of different works in Hungary, a lot of them to do with the Roma. So that is an extremely significant, it's a very, very significant development. And of course also it's been the sort of template, the model, if you like, of other developments in other countries, but they're very largely based on what took place in Hungary. Here is a country which for 60, 70 years was behind the Iron Curtain. It was something which was a mystery to the whole of Western Europe, and within this very short period of only 25 years, Hungary is now taking its place as a major player, not only on the European scene, but indeed on the international scene. And so we see a former communist country absolutely burgeoning and turning into a major player on the international stage. And that, of course, is extremely interesting. And it's therefore, this is we know it's a large and important European country, but in fact, I think we could say that it's developed in a way, particularly with its overseas development policies, it's developed in a way which perhaps none of us could really have foreseen. Clearly, Hungary has an enormous potential. If Hungary is capable of developing in this extraordinary way internally, and to a degree externally, over the last quarter of a century, who knows what will happen in the next 25 years. I mean, it's extremely interesting to see. It's very indicative, I think, of the whole business of the development of the former communist countries of Eastern Europe. It's going to be extremely interesting to see where all that goes. It's not only Hungary, but Hungary, I think, is very much the leader of this extremely interesting and very important trend. And as far as I'm concerned, of course, I watch with great interest, and I'm absolutely full of enthusiasm and full of encouragement. I've had a number of visits to Hungary. I very much enjoy going to Hungary. I've been very honored. I've done a state visit to Hungary. I've been received by the President. About 2 years ago, the annual youth camp of the Order was held in Hungary on Lake Balaton, and it was a happy occasion. It was a successful occasion. People from all over Europe and indeed beyond attended it, and I think the whole thing was a great success. So it's indicative of the rising, as it were, rising from the sort of problems of the past of this very, very important European country.